Hello and welcome back to Hoods. My name is Bridget Talley, and today we're going to continue talking about the Hood Humboldt Park. We're going to see some of the businesses in Humboldt which are flourishing and growing bigger than ever. We're going to see a business that makes beautiful woodwork out of recycled wood. Then we're going to show you one of the finest Mexican restaurants in Chicago, Cemitas Puebla. The Cemitas Puebla owner, Anteliz, will be here for an exclusive interview to give us details about his delicious signature meal, the Cemita sandwich. Let's take a look at why this is so great for the people of Humboldt Park and its environment.
Crooked Nail came from me basically wanting to build more furniture for myself and not wanting to go to IKEA to buy everything. The cool thing about our place, like what we do, is that we can do everything. We're a one-stop shop. We can arrange, we can do lighting, we can do welding, we can do woodwork. I mean, we're making candles now. I mean, dude,
As we speak.
We do everything.
So we had this, these girls were opening this vintage store and they wanted this wall of just entirely reclaimed wood.
The whole time we're just faking it, like, yeah, we've done this
Yeah,
before.
we got it.
It's
totally good.
We could do that.
And I saw this dumpster that had this old like barn siding, just really short, or like maybe 4-foot sections of it, and there's a ton of it. And I was like, dude, turn it upside down, it's all tongue and groove, fits into each other. I want to take that and like nail it up.
We would have been ripping pellets forever.
Yeah,
That
so
would have been brutal.
fake it till you make it first.
No, don't tell people.
First. With using reclaimed wood, the wood itself has a story behind it.
And we're just
Other
bringing
than
that
us,
out.
it's like we're saving something that was, 100 years old, and the look of it, just a lot more. Like you notice, it's nice to be able to bring in an element that had a previous life. So if we can take a small portion of that and reuse it and make it into something that is beautiful and that people want in their house, in their apartment, that's kind of how we see it.
The fun thing about this too is, you'll get like you'll go, and there's something about working with nice wood. It's so much easier. You can get all the plain wood that you need. You can get all the angles the way you want it. But then when you deal with like reclaimed wood and wood that was thrown out and abandoned, like you're not making something that you had in your head before. You'll see something that's in the wood, and then you'll work with that, and you kind of just follow. And you're not fighting the wood. You're going with it, and you're creating something that you totally didn't expect. And I don't know, that's kind of fun.
We're trying to focus more on building out entire spaces and doing, like having creative control of a space for our clients.
As long as you love what you do, other people will love it too, and that's kind of what Crooked Nail is. So buy our stuff.
Wow, that's so neat. Definitely have to look into that. Woodwork is not an easy job, but to see even more of their work and even create custom orders online, go to crookednailco.com. Now we're going to enjoy a little bit of Mexican cuisine, courtesy of Antonio Anteliz, who we have in the studio from his restaurant Cemitas Puebla. Welcome, Tony. How are you today?
Bridget, thanks for having me. I'm awesome. Thank you.
Great. Now, to start here, let me just ask you, what inspired you to create Cemitas Puebla in Humboldt Park specifically?
Well, you know what, Bridget, Cemita originates from Puebla, Mexico. My parents are from Puebla.
Okay.
Even though there are a ton of descendants from Mexico and Chicago, believe it or not, there's not a lot of Poblanos, which are people from Puebla, in Chicago.
Oh.
So when we were kids, I'd always ask my parents, why can't we get Cemitas like we can get burritos and tacos, enchiladas, and everything else? So because we'd go back a lot on vacation for Christmas, for the summer, and I love those sandwiches and their style of food that they have in Puebla so much that I just thought it would be, a natural fit. If people somehow were able to try this food in Chicago, I thought they'd like it. So I grew up in Humboldt Park, and it was one of those things where I knew the neighborhood. I thought Wicker Park was, which is right next door to Humboldt Park, was up and coming, and I thought, you know what? If we can open up something in Humboldt Park, maybe we can start attracting people from all over the place. And little by little, we did.
Now, that's awesome. Is this your first restaurant then, or you just decided to go straight for it?
Yeah, this is definitely my first restaurant. I went to school at Loyola, but I majored in history. And to be honest, when I first started, I had no clue what I was doing in the kitchen. So I definitely would recommend don't go the route I took.
So did you know, creating the restaurant, how to make a Cemitas?
Well, I knew what I wanted. I knew what I wanted
Right.
to make. I knew what in my head, what kind of flavors I'd want, and the way I always went into it running the restaurant, serving what I would want to eat, the portions I would want to eat. So we never, even though it was tough in the beginning, we never held back on good meats or on good spices. And little by little, I with help from my mom, my dad, some of the cooks I had, I was able to learn on the go, and that's why we're at today.
Definitely. Now, what do you think makes your specific Cemitas Puebla's restaurant special?
You know what? Not to knock anyone in Chicago, and there's a lot of great Mexican restaurants in Chicago. Basically, what I have, I like to call it taqueria. Taqueria is just a Mexican version of a hot dog stand. And there are a million hot dog stands and taquerias in Chicago. And they all kind of do the same thing. And again, some of them are awesome. But you always find your steak tacos, your steak burritos, blah, blah, blah. And I do that, all that stuff as well. But I wanted to be different. And again, going back to my idea, why aren't there Cemitas? And something else we may call a taco out of it in Chicago. And my menu kind of focuses around those two things. So I said, if you just open up a taqueria, it can either be hit or miss. It just depends if you're close enough to a certain amount of people that'll go there. But I wanted to give people a different reason to come to a taqueria, and that was the Cemita. So when we first started making the Cemita, though, it's really hard to push something on people that they never heard of.
Right.
So the way I would gauge how we were doing as far as taste is the few Poblanos that were in Chicago, when they'd come to the restaurant, I'd always ask their opinion, is this what you guys remember when you were at home? And a lot of them were like, well, yeah, but it's missing this. Yeah, but it's missing that. So, because for whatever reason, a lot of times the ingredients that they have back at Puebla aren't the same here. They might make it, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
So believe it or not, we started going back about once a month and bringing back the ingredients that make a true Cemita, which I'll explain later is Oaxacan cheese, which is called queso Oaxaca, the chipotle peppers, which is a smoked jalapeno. Again, sounds simple because they're everywhere, every Mexican grocery store you have, but the taste over there is just a little bit different, and it makes it so original. So what we started doing is the sandwich is authentic and it's as real as you get. So it's one of those things that people that knew it before, when they tasted it, like, wow, I haven't had one of these in 15 years. You took me back to when I was a kid.
Oh,
and that's the most awesome feeling in the world.
I'm sure.
And then when you can introduce something new to someone, when they always come in for burrito, but you're able to say, well, here's half of this, try this. And then next time they come in, like, hey, what's that thing you gave me last time?
Yeah.
And that's an awesome feeling.
So it's definitely, at Cemitas Puebla, the Cemita sandwich is what people go for.
For sure, absolutely.
Awesome. Do you guys plan on expanding at all?
The cool thing is we've gotten to the point where we're extremely busy, and that's awesome. And even though we're based in Humboldt Park, we're starting to attract people from like all over the city. And I kid you not, it blows my mind because a lot of times the part of Humboldt Park we were in, unfortunately, wasn't. You didn't have a lot of outsiders coming in.
Right.
But the neighborhood's changing. We live in a day and age where there's social media, Facebook, Twitter, and it's just all kind of like the perfect storm. So we've gotten asked that a lot about expanding. So
maybe.
Maybe, I think
All
so.
right,
Maybe.
that's a
Little
good
by
enough
little.
answer for me.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
For
Tony.
sure.
Now, we're actually going to take a look at Tony's restaurant, and afterwards, we're going to see how he makes the sandwich himself. So that's going to be really cool. Stay here, and let's take a look at this clip.
My name is Antonio Tony Anteliz. 37 years old. Went to college and I majored in history at Loyola University, and now I make tacos for a living.
Cemitas Puebla with Antonio Anteliz present the Cemitas sandwich.
11, 12 years ago I had the idea, with the help of my father, maybe bringing some food from Puebla. Same thing everywhere you go, and all the respect, very good, what everyone does, but it's pretty much your steak tacos, your bistec mexicana, your chile rellenos, your pozole, which again, very good, but pretty much everyone has the same thing. So what we wanted to do is bring something that hasn't been in Chicago ever. So my whole life, going back to Puebla for Christmas or summer vacation, I was familiar with my menu, what I make now, tacos árabes, semitas, chalupas, everything in the poblano style. We decided again, to try to make the semita and tacos árabes as authentic as we could. And but still, sometimes people come in and they want a burrito and a tacos, which we make and they're very good. But I really wanted to stick. I wanted to stay the course, and no, we're gonna make semitas and tacos árabes, and that's gonna be our main thing here. But a good portion of Humboldt Park knows what a semita is, and that, more than anything, gives me a sense of pride, makes me happy, and it shows that, after a while, all the hard work being there. We're not there yet where we want to be, because not only do I want all of Humboldt Park to know what a semita is, I want all of Chicago to know what a semita is. Put it on a basket, and that's what you have at the end of the day. That's how a semita, yeah. So I hope you enjoy it.
Brings the perfect taste of Mexico.
Perfect taste of Mexico. In one sandwich.
That's really cool. What a nice restaurant you have
Thank
there,
you, Bridget.
Tony.
Appreciate that. Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
of course. Now, could you just explain? I know you kind of briefly told us the ingredients, but
Sure.
could you point them out? Kind of just let us know how this goes.
Absolutely. What makes a semita is it originally gets its name from the bread. As you can see, it's almost like a French-style bun, but it has sesame seeds on top. And in Spanish, a seed is called a semilla or a semita. So technically, the sandwich gets its name from the bread and from the seed. What a semita has to have, or traditionally has, is avocado, Oaxacan cheese. Oaxacan cheese is almost like a Mexican mozzarella. In that, believe it or not, this used to come in a big size ball, almost like a bowling ball. And then you unwind it in strips, and then from there, you take it apart. So needless to say, it's a pretty tedious effort, but it's a fantastic cheese. And then what varies on a semita is your types of meats. Today I brought you guys an example. We're going to make a ham semita, but it could be anything from a milanesa, which is a breaded pork loin, chicken, carne asada, which is steak, carne enchilada, which is a marinated pork loin. So that varies on each semita. And finally,
you guys have it all at your
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we make about 12 to 13 different kinds of semitas. And if you can think of one on your own, we'll make it. And then we top it off with this sauce called a chipotle sauce. Chipotle is a smoked jalapeno. It's marinated and almost made into a sauce.
Okay, could you kind of start throwing it together
Yeah,
for
absolutely,
us?
sure.
See what it's like
So
to make
a
it.
semita, you start it off, and you're very generous with all the portions to make it a true semita. A semita is not a little sandwich by any means. So we add a ton of avocado. It's almost like it's nature's mayonnaise. We'll add the chipotle sauce, and again, this is chipotle sauce is a smoked jalapeno, so it's almost like a Mexican barbecue because it's smoked and sweet, and it's got a little bit of kick. And again, today we're making a ham semita. It's Crocus ham. So we're adding the Oaxacan cheese, and again, it's
So quite a bit of it.
yeah, and again, it's not for the faint of heart because the semita is a big sandwich.
Right.
Believe it or not, we have a bigger one called a Cemita Atomica, which comes with 3 different meats. So that's another story. So at the end of the day, guys, this is basically your semita, and again, this is a cold version because it's ham.
All right.
The other ones do take a little bit longer.
Do they usually come cut in half then?
Yeah, we'll cut them in half because a lot of times, if you go to Puebla, you have to they'll give it to you like this, so it's kind of overwhelming. But I started cutting in half, so it's not so intimidating for our customers. But again, we have various types of different kinds of semitas and vegetarian from all different types of meat and all that good stuff.
Awesome, great. Now, thank you so much. I can't
No,
wait
absolutely.
to come and check it out, honestly.
Anytime, we're there every day.
Great. Thank you so much.
Absolutely,
Now,
sure.
thanks for showing us. That was awesome. Thank you for coming in to Columbia.
Anytime.
And special thanks to our viewers at home for tuning in. That was our last segment of Humboldt Park. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it, learned a little bit about the neighborhood, and decide to come and join the lively community for some of the great events that we've learned about and the other places that we've seen in the last 3 segments. It was a great time. We'll see you next time for the whole new season of Hoods. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.